Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k, and it's battle report time again. So today we have a 2,000 point face off between my Ork Bad Moons and the Death Guard. I'm going to be heading off the Ork Bad Moons, and my mate Jake's back again. He's going to be heading off the Death Guard after a win last week. Really close win by the way, which was the game ended and the Death Guard got it. He's back to trash me again. So we've decided to up the points to 2,000 points, make it a bit more exciting. So what I'll do is I'll go through the list and we'll break it down. So I'll start with the Orks, which I'm running. So for the Orks, we've got 3 HQs. So starting with the Death Killer War Track, it'll be the War Boss. It's got the best armor Teeth can buy and cyborg body. So pretty much all defensive buffs to keep him alive. Then we've got a War Boss with Combi Flamer and, or Combi Scorch because they're Orks, and Power Claw, nothing else. Then we've got the big boy, the big mech. He's got his Power Claw, he's got the Force Field or Custom Force Field, and then I've paid 1 command point to upgrade his shooter to the Gobshot Blunderbuss, I think it is. So pretty much it's a range 12, 2d6, strength 5, AP1 auto hitting weapon. So pretty good. See how it does. So they're the 3 HQs. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 units of boys. Same as I always take them, in trucks. 12-man units, knob with claw and combi rocket, rocket in the group, and rocket on the truck. Okay, then going into elites, I've got 1 5-man unit of knobs. And I think that's it for elites, yeah. Alright. They've all got big choppers. They'll be going with the Mega Boss or the War Boss in the big boy, as they usually do. New addition for today. I'm still got to paint these guys yellow. These are my custom buggies that I made. GW calls them Legends now. I'm a bit upset by that because I put a lot of work into these. But 3 buggies. They'll just be 3 separate units, and they've got rack of rockets on each of them. So they'll just be zooming around, firing off rockets here, there, and everywhere. As I said, I've got to get them painted yellow, but that's for another day. Alright, then coming across to heavy support. We've got a fair bit of heavy support because this first heavy support choice is in the battalion. So that's the looters, 10 of. And then this guy is, I think it's a spearhead detachment. I always bugger this off, but it's got, bugger it up. It's got the Death Dread. He's got the 2 custom Mega Blasters, 2 claws. We got the 3 killer cans with the Grotzukas and the saws. And then we've got the big Morkanaut. He's got his shield and everything on him. And then, last but not least, we have a flyer, which will actually be this time, points-wise, what it's painted as, which is the Burner Bomber. So I'm going to try that out today. So we've got, in the list, a lot of armor, a lot of fast-moving things, few HQs, few new things to try out, a lot of movement. We'll see how we go. We're up against a super tough opponent. These two have never faced off before, so it could be me getting trashed real quick. So we'll go across this army. So once again, 2,000 points. What do we got? So this one is running the same thing again, brigade and a spearhead. So the 3 HQs are the Terminator with the full Garrus helm, an Arch Contaminator. He's got a Bale Sword, Combi Plasma. He'll be the Warlord. Then we got a Demon Prince, Miasma of Pestilence, and the 2 Claws. And then we got a Malignant Plaguecaster. Now he's got 2 offensive ones. I think one's Winds of Chaos. Now either way, Blades of Putrefaction and Winds of Chaos. They're the 2 powers that are sort of offensive powers. So this one's got a defensive one for himself, and this one's got an offensive. So troops wise, at the front as you can see here, filling some points and a bit of a screen, we've got a 17-man unit of Poxwalkers. So it will be interesting to see how they're used. I'm not a big fan of them, but he wanted them in the list because he said they look like cool zombies. Each their own. We got 1, 2, 3 Plague Marine units. Each the same. So each of them has 2 Blight launchers and a plasma gun on the champion, 2 bolt guns at the back. Now as requested, someone asked that I test out a Plague Surgeon in this mission. So I will put this guy in because he's sort of armed appropriately. I'm still making my Plague Surgeon. It'll be the other Lord. So he's got his sword, and the other gun sort of looks like a medical tool anyway. So I thought it'd be appropriate for this battle. So that'll be a first to test out the Surgeon. And then the other 2 elites are Foul Blightspawn. Foul Blightspawn, never leave home without him. Then in fast attack, we got the 3 Myphetic Blight Whores, and then 1, 2 Fetid Bloat Drones, and then 1, 2, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. The 3 Plague Burst Crawlers are part of the Spearhead, which is led by the Demon Prince. So that comes in at 9 command points, and he'll have 9 command points. He hasn't decided to spend any on anything. So if we have a look at the armies, we've got 2,000 points of Death Guard versus 2,000 points of Orks. The Orks severely outnumber the Death Guard, but in saying that, these guys are hard as nails. So me and Jakey Boy will roll up a mission, and we'll get back to this, and I'll see if I can redeem myself in this battle and not lose this time. All right, boys. All right, guys. We've rolled up a mission, and it is supplies from above. So let's go over that mission quickly first. So we've got on the Orc side 1, then in the center 2. It's to the right hand side, and then if we come around here, there's 1 under there, and then 1 way over here. So there's these 4 objectives at the start of turn 2. For each objective on the battlefield, we both roll off a dice, and whoever gets the highest gets the opportunity to move said objective in 3 inches in the direction that suits them or what they would like to. So I can start moving this objective towards my guys, or he can do the same thing if he wins the roll off, or vice versa. If you roll a tie, it just stays where it is. Starting from turn 2, you get 1 point for each objective that you sit on and hold, and there's obviously Warlord, Linebreaker, and there's another one, First Strike. Alright, so let's go over the deployment. So Jakey Boy won the roll off. So he chose that side over there, which has the 2 objectives that he set up, and then I set up my Orc. So over this side, starting from the right, I've got the big mech, and he's surrounded by his killer cans, Death Dread, and 3 war buggies with the plane behind him, because there's an objective just here in the center that we're going to go for, even though there's some resistance. Then in the very center field, we've got the Death Killer War Track behind the Morkanaut, and in front we've got the 3 units of trucks with boys in them. And then last but not least, we've got the looters up here, which I've just popped 1 down here to hold the objective. And that's it for me. Inside the trucks, obviously the boys, and inside this is the war boss and the knobs. But other than that, everything else is on the battlefield, because I want to have maximum firepower if I get first turn. Alright, and then for Death Guard, we've got over here, so starting from the left going right, got Plague Burst Crawler, squad of Marines holding the objective. Then here's sort of a center blob with 2 Plague Burst Crawlers at the front. Then behind we've got 1, 2 units of Marines. And then in the center there we've got Malignant Plague Caster, we've got the Warlord, then behind them we've got the Plague Surgeon, 2 Foul Blight Spawns, and of course behind them giving support, the 3 Myphetic Blight Whores. Then we come over here, we've got the 2 Fetid Bloat Drones with the Demon Prince in tow, ready to support them up the field. And then holding this objective over here, we've got 17 Poxwalkers on there, which Jakey Boy asked me, what do you normally do with Poxwalkers? And I said, find an objective and sit them on them. That's my take on him. If you've got some feedback for him as he uses this army a bit more, feel free to leave it in the comments. Alright, at this point, the Death Guard currently have the first turn, unless I can seize the initiative. So we'll have that roll off, see if I can't do that. That's a 2, so Death Guard will be going first. If I'm still on the board at the end of this turn, well, that's good. We'll get back to you after this turn. Not a good start for the Orcs. Alright, end of Death Guard turn 1. And what has happened here? So, movement wise, these guys stayed here and held this objective. The old Poxwalkers. Jakey Boy made a good push down the centre here. So, he got really good rolls off on all 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. They all got a minimum of like 13 or 14 movements, so they've come from the back line, pushed that forward. The objective's underneath this one, and it also has a -1 to hit on it through the miasma off the Demon Prince. Behind these 2 are the 2 Bloat Drones and Demon Prince, and then we've just got the bubble. So even these guys come forward because you don't score points till turn 2, so he figured he'll run out there and then just run back in. So shooting wise, pretty much this guy here took a couple of wounds off me buggy over here. This guy and a combination of the other stuff back here, pretty much everything, blew the death trap off the battlefield. So he's got first strike. And then this one, and I think it was one last shot from the... It was them, yep. Yep, over here onto the vehicle, took 5 wounds off one of the trucks. So he got first strike and wounded an assortment of vehicles. And he's also taken the center board for dominance. I don't know what his plan is here, but he's getting very aggressive and it's making me very nervous. So I'll have my Ork turn, see if I can't just smash face and get him out of there and see what happens. Alright, we'll get back to you. Alright, end of Orks turn 1, and I like to think that we did some work here. Once again, the Death Guard have proven tough, tough, tough. So, what did we do? These guys stayed still, obviously, they're a shooting unit. The truck zipped around here to sort of have the ability to go towards this objective or go to the support in the center here. The big boy here shot, did nothing. These guys also shot and did nothing really. They sort of took a few wounds off one of the Plague Burst crawlers, but between all of them with all their rockets, it really wasn't that good. Between their shooting and this guy running in, we did kill one Plague Burst crawler. Then the rest of all the rockets over here and this guy, and shooting from these guys over here, combined with shooting from these guys, took this down to 8 wounds. Or took 8 wounds off it, sorry. And then these guys managed to run over here and take 3 wounds off one of these. So I see what Jakey Boy's plan was here. You know, by pushing these Plague Burst crawlers out the front and blocking access, you kind of have to deal with them. It is one of them things. This is 2 games in a row that he's done this to me. So he's getting the idea of the Plague Burst crawler, push it up in people's face and cause some issues. So if we go around this side as well, I zipped across the board with my flyer and I dropped burner bombs across the units here. I dropped both burner bombs and I killed 2 in this unit and 2 in this unit. Then I used the Daka guns, shot over here and killed 3 of them. But then I remembered these guys are fearless, so I sort of wasted them shots. You got to kill them all to get them off, but that's all right. So we've killed a fair bit, and well, we've more wounded things. We haven't really killed 1 unit, but that's all right. So at the start of Jakey Boy's Death Guard turn 2, we'll roll up to see where these objectives go, and that might turn the tide of battle. And for now, I'll just battle on with these giant plague toad looking mother effers. Alright boys, we'll be back to yous. Alright boys, turn 2. Jakey has pulled some moves and it's looking a bit grim for the Orks. We're not out of the game, but by far he's definitely smashed into lines. So let's have a look at what happened. This thing moved out of combat. That way if I charge into his tank again, I get cooked. Same thing here. Actually, let's go first the objectives. So, this one, Death Guard moved. They actually moved it forward a bit so they could hold it. This one, I won, moved it backwards. I won this one, moved it forward, made Jakey Boy come out. And then he won this one and moved it forward a bit, but it didn't get far enough away from me. So, that's where the objectives are at the end of this. So, back to where he was. So, yeah, the 2 tanks backed out. Everything else sort of made a solid push forward. The 2... Foul Bite spawns ran forward, the Death Spittery guys, the Fetid Bloat drones, and the Demon Prince. Now, between the melters and rockets on these, and it was pretty much these 2 really, smoked the Morkanaut, just blew it up. All the guys inside survived. They got out, and the Demon Prince hit with all his hits because he hits on 2+3 roll 1s, but he fluffed his wounds. And he actually only got 1 wound. He rolled a heap of 2s and 1s. Now, being only strength 7, that actually hurt him quite a bit. So he killed a few knobs, and so this Fetid Bloat drone. But then there was one still there. There's another one which the boss kicked his head in to kill him to keep this guy here. And then between the boss and him, they chopped into him and took 6 wounds off the Demon Prince. So that was pretty crazy balls. Then with the grenades and the plasma, shot over here and blew these guys out of their transport. They all managed to survive as well, but transport gone. And then just an assortment of wounds around the place. So we'll go on to the Ork turn. Quite hurt here, but as you can see, things like these Death Guard are just solid. Second time playing against them, and they just punish you. Any mistake you make, they're going to capitalise on. Jakey Boy's over there laughing. It's real funny. It is quite funny. I'm getting my head kicked in here. But we'll get back to this. We've still got some combat. Alright, boys. Wah! Alright, end of Ork 2. We've pushed and we've pushed back hard. So we got our heads kicked in last round, so we've had to fight extra hard, tooth and claw, to get back into it. So first things first, pretty much these guys just followed this thing up and did no more damage, but moving ever so closer to the objective over there. So I don't think Jacob Boy's going to back up again this turn. He's just going to probably keep me in combat there, and I'll probably have to retreat, but we'll see what happens. Coming over to the centre here, we did kill the Demon Prince in close combat. Shot a few wounds off the Fetid Bloat drone. Did nothing over here. I tried to do a sniper move in here where I zipped these buggies through to get close to this guy to fire some rockets into him to hopefully kill one of these dirty foul blight spawns, and nothing happened, so that could backfire real bad. And then over here, combination of these guys and these two trucks and this fighter jet cleared off all the poxwalkers on here to take control of this objective, and then paid 2 command points to shoot again with the looters across here and took this thing down 6 wounds. Sorry, I think it took it down 4. I think it already had 2 wounds on it. Yep, Jake's nodding. Had 2 wounds off it already. So they took off 4 wounds, which isn't too bad. So at the end of this battle round though, I've got 1, 2, 3 of the objectives, and he's got 1 over here. So we've just inched him out by a small bit. So that means that at the end of battle round 2, battle round 2, the Orks are on 4 points and the Death Guard are on 2 points. So we'll get back to Death Guard turn 3 and see if they can't spin this around and start smacking some Orks about, which I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to. Alright, we'll get back to yours at the next turn. End of Death Guard turn 3. And they have hit back like an absolute sledgehammer as they do. They had a few mistakes, but there's a few things they did. So let's go through it. First things first, this backed out. These guys come across and they deleted all 3 killer cans with ease with the support of these 3. So these 3 Marines, these 3 annihilated it. Moving forward, we have a combination of these guys here. Killed 2 buggies. So 1 grenade group killed one of the buggies that was here. These guys with their grenades and plasma killed a buggy that was here. Then coming over here, they attempted to finish off this buggy but didn't. So they killed a heap of buggies. Over here, these 2 flower blight spawns failed miserably. They took this thing, 5 wounds off this thing between the 2 of them. They took down a Morkanaut, can't take down a truck. This thing chased after it, copped a rocket to the face on the way in. He's lost 7 wounds, but then got in combat with it and done nothing. Then over here, so there was a bit of combat went on. The Fetid Bloat drone died in the combat, and these guys consolidated over into here. So the Orks lost a fair bit in this round, but hit back a little bit. So we took a Fetid Bloat drone with us, like on our way out. But at the same time, they took away all our killer cans and also tied up some stuff over here and just put the pressure way back on. So the Orks are down a fair bit. Realistically, all they have left is this guy. They got the characters left, which is a good thing because lots of power claws. So that and mainly these over here, and we still have this shooting though. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes. We'll get back to you at the end of Ork turn 3 and see what happens. But as I said, the Death Guard hit back real hard that turn, disabling a lot of the chunk. Alright, we'll see what happens. Alright, ladies and gents, end of Ork turn 3. One thing I didn't mention before was the movement of the tokens. So this one stayed still on a draw. This one was moved slightly forward in the Orks' favour. This one moved forward too, but in the Death Guard favour. And this one over here stayed still. So just catches up on that. Apologise about that. So getting back into the turn, we have had a pretty successful Ork turn. So we've pretty much started, we'll go from the left. So these guys stood here, held this objective. I'm just bashing my models around. This fly flew from over here to here. Now, between this guy, this guys and this guys, we're supporting fire over here to take out the foul blight spawns and have a shot at this. Did nothing to either of them. Then this truck over here shot over, combined with this buggy, and killed one of the foul blight spawns, which was really handy. So that's one down, but there's still one over there. These guys punched their way through the Myphetic blight hauler, no, not Myphetic blight hauler, fetid blight drone, Larson, these names. So they've managed to run around here, shoot some rockets in and charge in. They killed this unit of Plague Marines down to 1. The champion's still in there fighting, but he did no damage back. These guys attacked this vehicle and did nothing. The Death Killer War Track come in here and he attacked these guys, taking 2 away. And that is about it for the turn. So it was a successful turn back in retaliation and killing a heap of stuff. Well, I thought it was a heap of stuff. It's Death Guard, so every single wound counts. Don't hold that against me. And at the end of turn 3, the Orks are on 6, the Death Guard are on 4. So we'll have to have Death Guard turn 4 and get back to you. They still have an absolute buck ton of things on the field. So we'll see what they do to swing the game back around, get back into it, and they might take us off the battlefield. We still have a fair bit of stuff in play, so we'll have to see what we can do, and we'll get back to you then. Alright, end of Death Guard turn 4, and it kind of went well, but didn't turn out super well? I don't know. Jakey Boy's like scratching his head, umming and ahhing whether this was a good turn or not. But let's have a look what happened. So, this and these guys try to take this truck out. Now, they took 8 wounds off it, but due to ramshackle, if you don't know what that is, whenever a vehicle takes damage, or an Ork truck, sorry, not a vehicle, say you do damage 6, if the Orks roll a 6, it just counts as damage 1. Now, all the damage he done on this, I rolled a couple of 6s and just reduced it. So all these melter shots, dirty spooge McDuck shots and all this stuff. Truck's still going, mate. She's going strong. Just yep, that's good. So going across here, this thing flew over here, killed a heap of guys with its spooge guns. But on the way in, copped a face full of bloody, pretty much autocannon, Ork autocannon, and is down to 1 wound left. He's taken 9, and he didn't kill any Orks on the way in because he's been pretty damaged, but he sort of tied it up. Coming across here, held this objective and utilised these guys in here to kill all the Orks in this vicinity. But then over here, the Orks couldn't really get out of the combat here due to the positioning of models. So the Boar Boss smashed through the Plague Burst Crawler and this guy finished off the Plague Marines. Then coming over here, this guy shot around and took 1 wound off him, and that was about the size of that. So as much as it was the Death Guard turn, I think they lost as much in that round as they dished out. So we'll have to go to Ork turn 4 and see what happens. But the Orks are putting up an absolute hell of a fight in this battle, and I didn't think they'd go this well, and neither did old Jakey Boy. So we'll see what happens next. Mind you, this entire unit's still here, and they are death incarnate. Alright guys, end of Ork turn 4, what's happened? So over here, these guys backed out of combat. This flew past, shot back, killed the fetid bloat drone. So these guys are in the clear on their objective. Over here, this guy come around here to heal the back of this guy, and then come into combat with these guys. So pretty much what happened is the combat didn't go so well in here as far as like death goes. Like the guys that were killed in here, which were the Plague Marines, were killed by the flamethrowers from these 2 guys and this guy's gobshot blunderbuss. The combat itself, this guy lost 3 wounds, didn't do much back. This guy lost a couple of wounds, did 1 back, and this guy did bugger all. So it's sort of just all tied up in the centre here. If we go around to the other side, this truck backed up to here and it shot over here. It took 2 wounds off here. This thing went forward, sort of going for this objective over here to put the pressure on old Jakey Oh, beg my pardon. Old pressure on Jakey Boy, and did nothing with its rockets or shooting here. We attempted to obliterate this. Probably should have kept shooting the foul by spawn, but got super excited. And you know how it is. Dice start rolling, start killing shit, and you forget things sometimes. So, at the end of turn 4, the Orks are on 9 points and the Death Guard are on 5. So, the Orks managed to hold this objective, this one over here, even though I didn't think that was going to happen, and they put the pressure on over here, whereas the Death Guard have only managed to sort of hold this one here. They haven't really pushed out from this position since the Poxwalkers died over here. They just haven't been able to break free, and the Orks have just been zooming around in their buggies and stuff, yahooing and just screaming stuff out, and woo, wah! You know how it goes. So, we'll go into turn 5 and see what happens. I think at this point, the Death Guard are going to have to do something drastic, because if not, they're going to shamefully be beaten by the Orks. No, not shamefully at all. These Orks have always done well. Alright, we'll get back to you at the end of the next turn. Alright, end of Ork turn 5, and it got really hectic really fast. So, some moves have been played. Jakey Boy went for broke, and you kind of got to in these later rounds. So, what did he do? First things first, he swung this bad boy round and flamed and shot into this guy. Taking 4 wounds, he nearly got him. Like, it was that close to claim that objective. He did claim this objective. Over here, they fought. They didn't really do any wounds to this guy. They did kill the knob over here, but then the Ork killed the Warlord, so they scored another point in their turn. These bloody Orks and scoring in the fucking Death Guard turn is just ridiculous. He played some moves over here, so as you can see, there's no more trucks. Swung around here, shot rockets into this one over here. Sorry, no, that is incorrect. This guy ran out with his Spooge gun, blew the truck sky high. This unit used rockets and melters, but using the frag rounds to clear out most of the Orks. And then these guys over here, shot over here, killed the second truck. These guys got out, these guys assaulted, and he tried to assault the last knob that was left here to claim the objective. Didn't kill him. The knob's still there, so they still hold the objective at this current juncture. But he did do some really good moves here. So the Orks have copped a flogging in terms of losing models, but he didn't manage to clear them off the objectives yet. But the Orks have got to have their next turn. So, you know, retaliation and combat stuff like that, he may just be able to pull this off. So, we'll see what happens at the end of this round after the Orks have turn 5. See how many points are scored. They probably need to kill this guy to get Warlord and hold a few objectives, and they could be back in the game. There's about 4 points in it. So we'll get back to you in a minute when Orks have their turn 5 and retaliate against the Death Guard. Alright, end of Ork turn 5. Things have gotten serious. Stuff's got real. Alright, so let's go through it. These guys stayed here, tried to shoot over here and support this. Didn't quite work, but this knob backed out of combat to survive to hold this objective. Over here, this is, neither of these guys are troops and they're both on the objective. So, that one wasn't scored, that one was contested. Coming over here, the Death Guard clearly held this one. So, then over here, they tried to attack the war track, didn't do much. He killed the Malignant Plaguecaster. This guy did nothing again. I don't even know why he's got a power call, but that's alright. These guys managed to kill the Orks, and this guy tried to support shooting over here. So at this point, that is the end of turn 5. So the Orks are currently on 11 points and the Death Guard are on 6. So on the roll of a 1, the game will end. Or sorry, the roll of 1 or 2, the game will end and the Orks will win. Anything else, the game goes on. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to roll. So here we go. That is a 2. That is an Ork victory. And the only thing appropriately to do right now would be to go, Wah! There it is. So, I've redeemed myself, utilising the Orks to bash my way back in to the competition. So, man of the match wise, we were just discussing before. Jakey boy said he's going to go with these. We've got the Myphetic Blight Whores. He's been saying it from the beginning. Last game, this game, he's like the game changers. He can't get enough of them. He's actually, we were just discussing before, he's like, can you please buy another unit of them? He's like, I'll help you paint them, help you assemble them. I'm like, alright, we'll see how we go. And because they're an easy to build kit, it's definitely a possibility for the army. So, he may get his wish and there may be a second one. For me, I am going to go with the Death Killer War track again. This guy just, you know, he either dies early or he sticks around and just punches his way through things. And late game, when people don't have enough stuff to hit back, being a vehicle, having that 4-up invuln and a feel no pain, he just crunches his way through. He's got guns to deal with everything. He's got claws, he's got the lot. So, that's the end of it. The Orks have somehow come on top. To be honest, I didn't think that they would be able to do it. But as the game progressed, they just kept punching their way through, clawing their way through. They're real sort of grindy army. The last game that I had with Ben, same sort of thing happened where he just grounded out against the Brimstone Boulders. So, if you like this, like and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I guess the Orks are on top now. So tell me what you want to see next. Do you want to see the Orks go on to fight someone else? Do you want to see Death Guard again? Do you want to see a rematch? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll get back to you with the next one.